Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to video message number 29. This one goes out once again to all the presidential candidates and the politicians and the city council members and everybody of the United States, as well as some of you American citizens, because you can learn just as much from these videos as the politicians can. Let me start off by saying, in no means during any of these videos am I threatening the United States government, law enforcement agencies, or anybody, just because I wear a firearm. I live in the state of Oklahoma and I have a permit to carry a firearm, especially on my own property. I work very good with the United States Department of Agriculture's inspectors. I have never had anything but a good time working with my inspector. The problem here is there's a dickhead out there in Ohio called Tim Harrison. Runs the Outreach for Animals program, a non-profit organization, okay? But he is the one that pushed this stupid-ass law in Ohio to take all the people's animals away from you, all right? Brags to be an ex-cop, a firefighter, a paramedic, and all that bullshit. And he's the one that starred in that stupid-ass movie called The Elephant in the Living Room. Now, if he knows anything about animals, you'd notice first thing is you don't set out in the fucking woods with a noose pole trying to catch a mountain lion. What do you expect him to do? Just walk up and put his head in a fucking noose? But what he has done is he's conspired this little thing with the United States Department of Agriculture that I'm dangerous. I got banned from the Big Cat Symposium that they put on up there in Kansas City because I'm so-called dangerous. I am far from dangerous for any kind of law enforcement agency or the government, but I'll guarantee you and I'll back up his promise. A first time Wayne Pacelli or any of his fucking nuts, or Carol Baskin or PETA crawl this fence and try and hurt any of my animals again, you can guarantee you I'm gonna put a cap in your ass the first time to make you squirm around on the ground, and then I'm gonna put a bullet right between your fucking eyes. They burned me down once. You politicians and you governors and all these other people that make laws need to understand that these motherfuckers are crawling in the fences at night at facilities just like mine and poisoning the animals and burning shit down. March of 26th, they crawled in our park while I was gone at a funeral overnight in Chicago, and they blew up my alligator house in my recording studio and killed 7 alligators and 1 crocodile and burned that shit to the ground. We got one of them dickheads on videotape, and to this day, nothing has been done to it. You know why? Because we had a federal agent stand right there in the office here a while back and tell us that they would not prosecute PETA because it's too fucking political. Now, we got a problem here in this country when we have somebody that's been declared a domestic terrorist that is too political to prosecute. When the hell is it right to crawl in somebody's place, poison their animals, burn shit down, walk on sidewalks in California, anywhere else in the country, and throwing red paint on people just because they choose to wear a fur coat? There is nothing free about this goddamn country anymore. It's all about who you pay and who you know. Let me move on to a senator by the name of John Thune. You know, the worst thing you can do is lay in bed and the alarm clock goes off and the Today Show's playing and all you see is mayhem, murder, and bullshit. And when I'm talking about bullshit, I'm talking about the politicians and the shit that's going on here in America. Now we're going to have some senator named John Thune that's going to introduce some bill to make it illegal for a business to be able to sue somebody for putting a false review on Yelp or TripAdvisor. Let me give you a little education, mister. First of all, you people up there in Washington and the White House and the Senate and the Congress and everything else, you need to work 4 years and then you need to get out and get a real fucking job. So you know what's going on in the business world in America. Let me tell you something. I've been self-employed for over the last 35 years. And I'm out here in the real world and I know what's right or wrong or bullshit, or you can scoop it with a scoop shovel. You know what the problem is with online TripAdvisor and Yelp and all that other bullshit? First thing is you fire an employee, and what do? They get a vendetta against you. So they get on the internet and they post all this negative shit about your business online, and you can't get it off of there. The second thing is you got people just like that rescue facility down there in Florida and the Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries that's all fucking jealous of what anybody else is doing. And this is all about getting donations shoved over to your facility if you can badmouth somebody else. So what do? They get all their employees, all their volunteers, and all the people that like them online to go over to your TripAdvisor and your internet sites and start putting bad reviews on there that, Jesus Christ, your animals are starving, your cages are dirty, the place looks like shit, the people are rude, and there ain't a goddamn thing you can do about it. What you need to do, instead of introducing a law to protect them motherfuckers, you need to introduce a law to protect the people that are paying your fucking wages. All right, I'm going to put a special note out there to all of you American citizens that watch these movies. I'm not going to apologize for my language or anything else. This is just the way I talk to get a point across. You damn sure wouldn't get anywhere if I said, John Thune, would you please, sir, understand that we're putting messages out there that's hurting my business? Or would it make more sense and get us a hell of a lot more attention if I say, look, motherfucker, you're stupid. You got all these people out there putting negative shit online about you, and there ain't a goddamn thing we can do about it. Which one do you think he's going to listen to first? Which one do you think he's going to care about first? Because the loudest mouth gets the most attention. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So if you don't like the way I talk, there's a delete button on social media. Please get your ass off my pages and make some room for the 5,000 people that are in line waiting to get on here. The other thing I woke up to this morning is a bunch of celebrities picking on all the cops. Gonna have some kind of a boycott in December saying that cops are murderers. Let me tell you something, people, and I don't care what celebrity's watching this shit either. I used to be a police chief, and I got my thing out there in public figure pretty much, so we're not quite on the same page, but we're getting goddamn close. When you're on a dark road out in the country or on the interstate and you're by yourself and you pull a couple of people over and they start sticking their hands in their pockets, it starts worrying you, man, because it's just one against two or three out there, and you have no idea if you just pulled over somebody that murdered somebody, somebody that raped somebody, somebody that robbed somebody, or anything else. So I'll tell you what, the first thing you need to do, if you don't want all this bullshit going on with cops getting a little bit of trigger happy and a little bit of defensive, now I'm going to admit some of these cops go a little bit overboard. The first cop that throws me on the ground and puts a knee in my back of my head and rubs my head in the concrete, you bet your ass I'm going to fight back. They can make you kneel and put your hands behind your back and treat you like a goddamn human being. But I'll tell you something, you start getting some of these people to pull their fucking pants up and their ass not showing and walk around and treat people with respect and open some doors for some elderly people and start busting their ass in school like we used to when we were kids, and you'd have a whole lot less trigger finger happy cops. Last thing I got to bitch about today is the freedom of speech and what's going on here in this country. It's absolutely pathetic. I can't say the N-word, but you can get on YouTube and watch any black man's rap video and they're calling each other the N-word. What the hell is this discrimination? I'm white, I can't say the N-word and they can. And then we got the United States Department of Agriculture refusing to issue people's licenses because they live in a city that the city's called Gay, Georgia. The hell is this? They declared the word gay to be offensive? Let me tell you something. I'm as gay as a $3 bill and I'm standing in a cage with 5 full-grown tigers and lions. And I'll goddamn guarantee you I'm a hell of a lot butcher than any of you straight politicians that are getting blowjobs in the back office. The good thing about all this is you gotta pay for your shit. I can just go to a bookstore and stick it through a hole and get it for free. If you don't think anybody's got anything dirty to talk about me, I put it all out there on the line. Everybody knows everything about my private life, anything that's went on in my life or anything else. So I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot of people on the internet say, Joe, I'm going to write you in for president if we don't get a 30-minute sit down. I'll tell you people something. I don't know shit about politics, and if you want to write me in as president, I'll guarantee you the first thing I'm going to do when I get in that Oval Office is, you know that pen that they sign all them bills with? That motherfucker's going in the trash. because there ain't gonna be a bill approved for the next 4 years until re-election again. And that's what needs to happen in this country. Why the hell do we need to introduce 3,000 bills every state, every year, and then go up to Congress and introduce over 3,000 more? So once again, if you don't like the way I talk, don't watch my videos. But let me tell you something. I shoot from the hip, I tell it straight, and this is about saving your rights, not just mine. I got my rights under control right here in Oklahoma. You see how I talk, you see how I walk, and you see how I run a business. So once again, if you're too lazy to hit that share button and spread this around, and let's stand up and take our rights back. Please get off of my social media and make some room for the thousands of people waiting to get on. All right, so all of you politicians running for president this term, I've been asking you 6 questions for the last 28 days, and they mean a lot to us, just like some of this stupid shit means to you. Unfortunately, we ain't got somebody sticking money in our pocket up our ass in order to get your attention. The only thing we're gonna do is we're gonna have a loud mouth, we're gonna cuss a little bit, and we're gonna get heard, one way or the other. We want 30 minutes to sit down with the first candidate that really cares about what's going on in this country, and these are the 6 questions. Here in America, we have a war in the animal world and the animal rights people in order to take our rights away, and 62.8 million people here in America own pets, and we'd like to know your comments and your concerns about a few issues. Question number 1, how do you feel about 501c3 organizations here in America that are scamming the public for hundreds of millions of dollars to take care of animals, and none of it goes to the animals? 90% of it goes to lobbyists to pass laws to further their agenda. 2, it seems like terrorist is the #1 topic anytime you turn the news on anymore. Are you aware that our own government, the United States Department of Agriculture, declared PETA a #1 domestic terrorist in the United States on November the 30th, 2009, and they're still a nonprofit tax organization here in America? How can you be a terrorist and get a tax break from your own country right here in America? 3, we'd like to know your opinion on how you feel on online bullying, not only of children, but adults, in the name of free speech, in order to bash somebody and ruin their reputation and their good name, only to make money for yourself and get away with it under the Declaration of Free Speech. 4, we'd like to know, how come us Americans that own our own property, own our own houses, and pay taxes on them do not have the right to have our own pets that we choose to have on our property or in our homes? Number 5, do you not think that we Americans have the right to assume the risk of our profession, no different than a cop, a firefighter, an oil rig worker, or anyone else that has the assumption of the risk of their professions? It is our right. And please, if you become president, give us back our right. And number 6, one of the most important, and this kind of touched on your speech at the Oklahoma State Fair, about things being made in other countries and taxing them when they come into America. Do you not believe that it should be a right that any product made from the rainforest or an animal's habitat somewhere in the world should be taxed in order to be sold in America, and that tax money go back to helping rebuild the habitat and the rainforest so some of these animals don't become extinct in the futures to come? All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, those were the 6 questions. Be sure and hit the share button and spread this around. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the video message number 29. Tomorrow we hit that big 30 number. I've been at this exactly a month, and I've got over 370 something days to go. And you can bet your ass I'm gonna finish this, and I'm gonna come up with a new problem that makes sense to try and get it to understand a little bit in your head. That if we Americans don't stick together and we stand up and we let these politicians keep shoving us around and changing laws that's going to affect our lives, you just as well move to Kuwait or somewhere else. I'm Joe Exotic, and I'll see you tomorrow for video message number 30.